Okay, so now we're going to continue with the table of contents. As we have seen, we have multiple choices for table of content: automatic table 1, automatic table 2, manual table, and so on. I advise you to use automatic tables unless if you need a specific form, then I advise you to use the customization tool, custom table of contents, and then you can use different styles right here. For example, let's if you want to use 4 levels, meaning that it will index chapters, sections, subsections, and paragraphs. If you use 3 levels, then the only things that will be indexed are the chapters, the sections, and then the subsections. Okay, so let's, for example, use 3 levels. Okay, replace this table of contents. Yes. Now you can see that we have multiple levels: chapter 1, section 1, section 1 definition, section 1 Microsoft Word, meaning the subsection called Microsoft Word within this the first section, the definition subsection within the first section, the uses of Microsoft Excel, and so on. If we, for example, now let's try to further customize it. For example, let's use 4 levels. Let's replace this. Now we have subsections. These subsections, calculations and tables, are indexed properly. Okay. Now the thing we have to use in order for our table of contents to become reliable are the styles. As I said before, the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, title. These are hierarchical, meaning that the heading 1 should be used for the title is self-explanatory. The heading 1 style is used for the chapters. Heading 2 is used for the sections. Heading 3 is used for the subsections. Heading 4 for the let's call them paragraphs, and so on. Okay. Now I would advise you to, let's select this, to use the first or either the first or second style of the table of contents. Now the use of this table of contents is not only restricted to automatically generate the table of contents, but it has further uses. For example, let's do a line break here. Let's insert a line break. For example, page break, excuse me. Now our table of contents should be updated to include the proper names and the page numbers of our sections. Okay, let's click on update table. Now we have update page numbers only and update the entire table. We're going to see the uses of both. Now in this case, I just inserted a page break in our table in our document. Now the only thing that changed in this document is the page number of the first chapter. Okay, so we only need to update the page numbers. Let's see, now it changed to number 2. If, for example, let's try and change or add a new chapter. For example, let's try and add a new chapter. For example, let's, for example, use the heading 1 style. Let's call this chapter 3, Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, let's leave it empty for the purpose of illustrating the table of contents. Now, if we only update the page numbers, nothing changes because we have added a whole other chapter. Okay? For example, let's use, for example, chapter 3. It doesn't show chapter 2 because I used the section heading style for Microsoft. Let's change this. For example, let's use, heading 1 style. Let's change this to chapter 2, for example. Okay, chapter 2, example. Now let's update our table, update the entire table, because we changed, essentially we've changed the Microsoft Excel from a section to a chapter. Okay, now we see that we have 3 chapters present: Microsoft, the uses of Microsoft Excel; chapter 3, the Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, this, for example, let's, for example, edit this. Microsoft Word, for example. If I update the entire table, now we can see that we have Microsoft Word as the name of the chapter. Okay, now let's move on to more basic things. For example, you can copy and paste text just by right-clicking. Then we have different options to change the color, font color, text highlight color, underline, italics, bold. These are different shortcuts that we don't always have to go back to the home tab to use them. Okay, we have different options such as cutting the text. This will remove the text, but if, for example, I want to paste it here, I only have to right click, and then I have different paste options. It keeps the source formatting. For example, if the text I copied had a unique style, it will keep that style when it pastes the text back. Okay, merge formatting, meaning it will use the destination's format and apply it to the text that I'm copying. Okay, picture, it copies the text as a picture, exactly what it means, and here it copies only the text. Okay, in this case, let's copy the text, example, here, like so. Or we can use the shortcut. Let's go back, Control V. The shortcut for pasting is Control V. The shortcut for copying is Control C. First, you have remember that you have to select the text before you apply any of these operations. Now let's use Control C, and then let's do a line break, and then copy the text, right, like so. Okay. We can also use Control X to remove it, cut the text. We can paste it using Control V. Now Control S is for saving, for a quick save. If you want to save your document, now you can use the shortcut like this, save. Notice that it gives you the shortcut like so. Or if I want to change the format of the document I'm saving, for example, let's save this document. Let's save it to the desktop. Okay, so table of contents, yes. Let's save it as a PDF, for example. Table of contents. It opens the document as a PDF. Notice that the table of contents now gives us clickable items. For example, let's go to the calculation subsection of the second chapter. It takes us right to the calculations subsection. Okay, this is one of the uses of a table of contents. It's better than doing it manually. Okay, Microsoft Word has a lot of other options. For example, you can use tables like so. Table, insert table, and then use the number of rows and columns you need to add. But I would advise you to use Microsoft Excel if you primarily intend to insert tables and manage data and whatnot. Okay. Okay, so here we can see in the insert tab we can also insert our page numbers at the top of the page, the bottom of the page, and then we choose where to insert them, like so. Okay, it inserts them in the footer right here. Okay, now we close the header and footer, right, like so, and then we have our document numerated as so. Okay, so this concludes the lesson of about Microsoft Word. Thank you for listening.